of code with Swiss. We're still working on the making progress with Next.js. What we're going to be trying to do today is and see if we can use those to commit directly to GitHub, because the idea being that you can put an article in here, press submit, see that you like it, press launch, and it goes straight to collecting markdown articles, sets itself up, and then Netlify or whatever picks that up and deploys it to production. So that's what we're going to try. I've never used NextJS API routes before, so this is going to be something new. And it's been a while since I tried using GitHub libraries. And also, please let me know in the chat room how loud I am, because I'm testing out this new mic and I have no idea how well it works yet. So let's see. We're going to start with, what can we start with? We need to get the library. Let's see, GitHub node library, and Next.js should be an article about that. There we go. Production, basic API routes, something that looks like it should run pretty much as a perfect API route. Okay, so this gives us pretty much, I think when you deploy this to Vercel, it's going to be a cloud function, like serverless function thing. We're going to do it with REST because that's going to be the easiest for us to use. So if we look at an API route example for, let's go with users. Yeah, okay. So it's like, if you've ever used Express before, this looks very similar to Express. So let's see. ls, we are in pages, API, do we have anything there? We have a hello.js. Let's look at what hello.js in hello.js in pages API is. Something that just returns the status code 200. We're going to do the same thing with using, when we actually make a GitHub request, we're going to use this approach. I'm hoping this can be an async function. And let's see how do we call that? Do we use just any normal? That's my question. Next question is going to be, how do we actually use the API routes? Let's start with let's remove the one we got, or actually let's use the one we got. So if I go to localhost 3000/API, a response, perfect, which means we can use this same approach to test our GitHub integration. So we're gonna say remove pages API hello, and we're gonna touch pages API. Let's call it publish article.js. And we're gonna look at publish article. This is going to have to be a post request. It might make sense to set up Postman or something, but I'm too lazy for that right now. And I just deleted my example, so I can't see how to set it up. Great. Looks like we just export a default function. Export default async, something that gets a request and a response. And we are going to say rest status and rest.json. Oh, nice. We can do it. We can chain it. That seems even nicer. So we say rest status, put in some JSON, and that JSON is going to be, what do we need the JSON to be? Let's say status okay, or let's say success true. Status okay, success true for now. So if we now go to localhost 3000 API publish article, we should get success true. Perfect. So that worked. That's a great sign. The next step is going to be figuring out how we can get a post request done to here. So I'm gonna go, oh, I'm dropping frames. So let's go back into our index.js, and here when we render the entire article, we're going to add a ship it button that is going to then let us publish this to GitHub. That's the theory, at least. So we're gonna start with, let's see, should we make a ship it button? Yeah, let's make a ship it. Let's make a ship it component, which is going to get our entire state. We with matter, which no longer really makes sense. So let's call this article article title. Then we go here, we say set article and this needs to be article. Okay, let's just rename everything to article. The main reason here is that we've got the letter render now, which renders the entire article as a sort of preview mode, in a sort of preview mode, and that preview mode then tells us, oh, I keep forgetting to switch my camera view. I'll get used to that. So now let's add a ship it button here. Ship it, which is going to get the entire article. Let's give it like this, article, and then that ship it button we are going to create here. Let's do import ship it from / components / ship it, and shipping it is going to use a, there we go. So ship it is going to use a React query mutation to do the actual work, and it's going to have some, let's do like a status or something, and that should then let us use the API so that we can play around and then start working on just the API part of it. And I changed my thing at the wrong time. So we don't need to import, do we need to import React? Did I have to import it here? Nope. Oh, that, because that doesn't do anything. So we're going to say export const ship it is going to be a component that gets an article, and it's going to render a large button for now. And that button is going to say ship it. Bam. Button, save, components, ship it.js. There we go. I don't know if we need to, do we need to import React? Let's import React from React because that's what I'm used to doing. And then we're going to see import button from Team UI. So we're using Team UI for our buttons and stuff because that makes it a lot easier for us to work. Now we go back here. Now that's the API hello, localhost 3000. We're gonna say this is the best article in the world. It's gonna have some description, and I'm going to use the markdown sauce from, actually let's do it like this. This is a title, and let's add a tweet because tweets look great on our preview. Come on, it's Twitter, the top tweet right now. Let's take Mike Julian. Get this link, put it in here. This is a tweet screenshot embed, and then we can do what else? Let's add a link to something. Or fuck it. Sorry, I'm having trouble coming up with a good example. Example, link to Google. And we say google.com, HTTPS, submit. So that creates our image and it creates a screenshot. Will it work? Yep, that worked. And now we have the ship it button. This button currently doesn't do anything, but it shows up. Now what we're gonna do next is use that ship it button to hopefully test the API without reloading the page. So we go here and we say on click is going to be, so we're going to set up a mutation first. We're going to say const ship article is going to be use mutation from React query. And I forgot how use mutation works because I always forget how things work. So we're going to look it up. React, there we go, documentation. We go to docs. I wonder why. It definitely looks like there's use mutation. Where are you? Use an API reference. Perfect. So it gives us the mutate and then state. So we're gonna say use mutation, the mutation function, which will say submit article. And yes, is it just submit article? Actually, let's do it this way. Let's make a function which is going to So this function needs to make a fetch request. So we're gonna say fetch, let's do API, publish article, and this fetch request is going to be method post and data, well, what? Method post, what else do we need? Why is it doing this to me? How do we specify the body for a post request? Why do I always forget how that works? Let's look it up. Using fetch, API post example. Fetch, oh, it's a body. Okay. So we're gonna say body is JSON stringify of the article. So that means we are, hey, look. So we're just posting the entire, increase the font size. Matteo, let's try increasing the font. Is that better? That actually looks really huge on my computer, so it's kind of distracting almost. So ship it, ship article, or maybe this font is what's too small. Yeah, Matteo, can you clarify which font is too big or too small? So we're now going to fetch the entire thing. We need to return this and say that this is an async function, and then the use me plus. What is it gonna give us? Where are you? What got resetted here? So okay, computer got confused. And then we get the current status and whether we are loading, and then whatever data we get back. Okay, so we have the perfect. So we have the ship it button. We're gonna say if we are currently loading, we're going to show a spinner, which should come from Team UI, but it's silly and not rendering. Actually, we can do it this way. If is loading, come on computer, you're being weird. If is loading, return spinner, which I know is a thing that exists in Team UI, spinner. Else we are going to return the button that says ship it, and we need to close this, and the ship it button on click is going to call ship article. That's the theory. Now let's see what happens. Yes. Okay. So go here, and now when I press the ship it button, we should get a request API directory. So ship it, publish article, that worked. We got, and everything went in. So that's working. Well, sorry, this microphone is really way up in my face. I need to figure something out. By the way, how does the microphone sound? This is the first time I'm actually using it on stream. So I want to know if it sounds better or worse than the Blue Yeti. Where was I? Right. So we've got this. Now here we can console log the full request and see what the request gets. So ship it again. We should, perfect. So that worked. We get the body. Does the body get parsed for us? That's what I'm wondering. And this looks like pretty much exactly Express, which is both a good thing or a bad thing depending on your views about Express. So we get the headers, we get the raw headers, and we get the body. Is there something that already processes? It would be cool if body automatically gets parsed for us. So let's go back to NextJS and let's see. API routes do not specify course, meaning they're same origin. Okay. Response helpers learn about built-in methods for the response API middlewares. Is there a good middleware for us? Custom config. Connect Express middleware support. So it does support Express middleware, which is great. Those no. How do I automatically parse JSON? Does anyone know? JSON, set header content type. Let's try setting that here. We're gonna add headers and we're gonna say The headers are content type /JSON, and maybe that's gonna parse it for us. So now if I do rec.body and I click ship it again, will that work? Nice. So now it got parsed. That's fantastic news. So we now have a fully parsed article that says it's the best article in the world. We have a description and we have some markdown. The next step we need is to tell this article that we also have, what should we tell it? So what I'm thinking right now is, first of all, I just realized that if I make this and I deploy it to production, anyone can add articles to my blog, which might not be the best idea in the world. So I'm probably won't be able to actually ship this. The other part is I'm trying to figure out how much information should we push into the API rather than the API figuring out itself. So like, for example, right now we have here this image for us, but the backend can also create this image using the same API we used on the front end. Secret key in header, I like that, Mattia. The problem with the secret key is that the UI is currently public, so there's no login system for the actual UI. So if you use the UI, you can make submissions. So the hero is one part. The other part is the front matter copy pasta. So what we can do, let's see, if we go here to index.js, we have the social card image. I wonder if this could instead use the backend, and then the backend can make the same requests for us. I also realized that okay. So here's what we're gonna try. I'm gonna try I'm really curious if React Query works on the backend or doesn't it. So let's try changing no. Actually, let's go simple. We're gonna continue where we were and try to actually make a GitHub Sandeep. I don't know if I really do Node.js streams. We're currently doing Node.js, but I don't do explicitly Node.js streams. It's just kind of a little bit of everything. I mean, as soon as you're doing serverless, you're actually doing Node.js, but to me, it's all just JavaScript. Okay, so we're gonna continue with the GitHub route, and then later I'm gonna figure out how to make it a little better. So here we are. We have publish article. Now we need to get a GitHub node library. Cinder's awesome Node.js. Oh, right. GitHub AutoKit REST for JavaScript. Perfect. So that's what we need. I'm now gonna go see how to actually use this. We're going to do yarn add git status git add dot git commit -a-m. We say that we post article to backend, which is great. We've got that. Now what we need is to figure out how GitHub's AutoKit REST API works. AutoKit REST, throttling automatic retries. Can I use this to actually write code? Git ignore emojis, code of conduct. Commit. Get a commit, create a commit. Perfect. So we can create commits. All right. So I think this part is going to be harder and it's going to explode in our face. So let's try it. We're gonna need to first authenticate, and I'm gonna do some hard coding here. So here's what we can do. We're gonna yarn add oct/rest, and then here we're going to say import octokit from octokit rest. We got that, and we say const octokit equals a new octokit object, which is going to authenticate with my personal token, which is going to come from process.env.github token. And I'm going to now go copy paste this from GitHub. I will let you watch all the way until actual token for reasons. So if I go into my settings and I look for tokens, token, no, account, successor, security log, emails, notifications, blocked users, repositories, organizations. How do I get a personal access token? Because I always forget. Organizations, blocked users, account security. No, that wouldn't be it. Two-factor auth, dependabot. Does anyone know how to get a personal access token from GitHub? Pa-pa-pam. Token. Token authentication strategy. Token.js. Okay, whatever. GitHub personal token. I know that's a thing that I can get through settings. Creating a personal access token. Perfect. And I have my email address verified. Developer settings. That's where it is. So if I go to developer settings, here, personal access tokens, I can create a new token, and I'm going to hide my screen so you cannot see my tokens, because that would be very bad. There's a lot riding on my GitHub access. So I'm making the token. I'm telling the token that it's for Swiss CMS. I'm giving it write access, and I'm giving it, what else? Okay, so it has repo access, write and read. Admin, no, I don't want it to have admin access. Notifications, users, write discussion, admin enterprise, workflow. Okay, generating the token. And I'm going to save this token in my .env local, vim.env.local, and I should be able to access it from the, what's it called? Okay, I can show you my screen again. There's no more tokens visible. So we'll see if this token actually works, but I now have a token saved in .env.local as GitHub token read and write access. Hopefully that's going to work, and I'm going to make sure, please remind me at the end of this stream not to publish this on public. Okay, so we've got that part. Now we go back to next octokit rest. Where are you? Okay, authentication. And we should be able to request a user. So let's try that first. We get the entire body. Now we're going to just test that we can actually do something with octokit. I'm gonna say const data.kit.request/user. And then we should be able to return that data. So let's try that. Okay, I've got it set up. We can now go into Swiss CMS, and if we press the ship it button again, we should be able to see stuff showing up. Nope, it errors out. Why does it error out? Function something. Okay, response was just internal server error. And the error came from GitHub not having, it says GitHub said that this request requires authentication. So why doesn't this request have authentication? Let's see. NextJS, localhost, octokit rest. So I gave it read access to users, I think. Let's verify. I don't think, oh, nice. So if I click on it, I can make sure that it has access to the user. There we go. Okay. Update token. This should not show the token again. Perfect. So now when I click ship it, I should be able to make the request to /user, but I am not. So this is weird, which means the next thing we gotta try is whether we actually have access to process.env, which is going to expose my token, but I can delete the token right after. Maybe I do need to restart this. Oh no, process env GitHub token is undefined, so that's the problem. I guess that means I need to restart the app because maybe it's reading .env files only at startup, which would make sense really. And let's see. So, bam. Okay, compiling, compiled, ship it. Come on. Click. Will that work? Build page, API, publish article. Damn, okay. So you now saw my token if you were paying really, but more importantly, we should be able to make requests now. The best article in the world with some sort of description and markdown sauce. Let's, oh, how was that missing? Where do I take the markdown sauce? Let's just say this is a title, submit. So we now have that and I can press ship it and we get, what do we get on the back end? Oh, that's dumb. So if I actually console log the data, we should see that I'm successfully making a request to GitHub. Right? Come on, ship it, ship it. There we go. So I'm making a request to /user, getting a bunch of information about myself. So that's working. We now have access to GitHub from the backend. Now let's look into creating a commit. Localhost, publish article, we don't need that. Where are rest? Create commit. There we go. We need to creates a new git commit object. We need to tell it the owner, the repo, the message, the tree, and what the parents are, which seems like a lot of work. Let's try. And I probably should not be doing this on my main. Okay, so we're gonna say commit article. Yeah. Const result equals await commit, which gets the request body as the actual article, and then we have async func article, which gets the entire article as the thing. Now, how do we make a commit? Let's see, create commit, GitHub developer guide documentation, create blob, update comment, update, unstar, star. Okay, so we go here, creating the response will include a verification object that describes the result of verifying the commit's signature. I don't know what to do with that. Where did it go? Create commit. Value, owner, these are the possible values for reason and verification object. Okay, parameters, there we go. What format do I send the things in? Let's see. So we're gonna say await octokit.git.create commit, and we say const result equals that, and we're gonna pass in the owner, the message, the tree, and the parents. I don't know what any of these are, and I suspect that we just signed ourselves up for a lot of pain with this thing. I wonder if it would be easier to just do it with Puppeteer and clicking around the GitHub interface. That could be cool. This of the tree object this commit points to, the schas, the author. How do I add the actual content of the commit? Create a tag. So here's the thing I'm struggling with. Where do I tell it what the value is? Let's see. Hooks, pagination, custom request, checks, billing, emojis, git. Create a blob, create a commit, create a perm. Has anyone worked with this before and tried to actually make commits? Create a blob. What is a blob? That sounds useful. Content. Comment blob. Use the API to add data, like to add an actual commit. No, that's just at GitHub apps, git checks, gists, GitHub actions. No, GitHub apps, GitHub marketplace. This is confusing. Pull requests, reactions, repositories, branches, commits, community, releases, get a commit compared to commits, no. List pull requests, no. How do I actually do this? Who would have thought this would be the hard part, not the NextJS stuff? GitHub API to add code to repository. Let's see if there's contents path using the GitHub API in your app. How to upload a file using might be useful. And then we can maybe it's just it's hard to write documentation with this boat, but also a good amount of the create a file endpoint. That seems useful. Get contents. Yes. All right. So how do we do this? We create a new file repository, put repos owner repo contents path. Example of creating a file. That seems reasonable. Does create are we using type, or is create commit using TypeScript? It is not using TypeScript. I'm supposed to be doing great. Okay. Come on. So let's see. Okay, create blob. No, create a commit. Parameters, message tree, content. No, committer name. Is there content? Signature. Create a tree. The tree creation API accepts nested tree entries. Create a tree. Where else is content showing up? Get a blob. Okay. Get a git ignore template. No. Check if a user can be create an issue. Er, this is confusing. So how does okay, so let's try. So it create contents path. So what I should be able to look up here is in the repos. Is there a repos? Repos, yes. So if we go into repos, there should be an app. No, that's that. Add repository. There we go. So check if add repository collaborator, create a commit comment, compare to commits, create a deploy key, commit status, create a fork. Come on. Create, where is something that left? This is so frustrating. Create a repository for the authenticated user. Is there, let's see, repositories, come on. There we go. All of this lives on the same page in the browser, which then makes it difficult to look for creating stuff. Oh, create or update a file. There we go. Haha, perfect. So we can say octokit repos dot create or update file contents, and we're gonna say is I don't know what to say for the owner. Let's just do me, and the repo is going to be. I should probably create a test repository for. So let's